money is a great companion, but it's a terrible solo artist. It really, like, if it's like to be like, hey, money, make me happy, that's putting the weight of too much on money's shoulders that it's not built to bear.
Yeah.
So it's useful. It's a tool. It allows you to, utilize other people's gifts and talents and to take time off or to go places that you want or, have access to great resources. There's so many different pieces in the financial world that you have to pay attention to, but which ones matter? And what are the fundamentals that will help you get back on track or get where you want to go? That's what today's video is about. So Stolba, how would you describe it? Like, what would you say we're doing here?
Yeah, I just, I've been thinking about this of, our goal is to help people win with money and to live the best life that they want for themselves. And any time of the year, any day of the week, we can take an inventory and assessment of where we're at and make a pivot and do something different. And so I think, in my own circumstances, in my own life, there have been seasons where I've had to look at things and say, is this working? Is this not working? And I know you've done the same thing. We've all been confronted with challenges and opportunities to kind of recalibrate our lives and look at our finances to see if it's getting us to where we want to be. And so I just thought today's discussion could just be us sharing some ideas.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be anything, I think, profound. Like some of the things on my list are rather simple, but they contribute to us keeping money on our minds in a way that allows us to be in a healthy relationship with it and allow us to move in the direction of our dreams, move in the direction that we want for our lives, rather than being stuck or feeling like a victim or that, good things just don't happen to me type thing.
Where are we starting?
So, I think in no particular order for me, I think there are two things that come to mind. One is planning a money talk with your partner.
Okay.
So I think it's essential to have these conversations, whether it's a husband or a wife, a significant other, even if you're single. I'm single, so I don't have a loved one to talk to.
You just like,
so I talk to myself in the bathroom mirror.
You go to one side and you talk, and then
I'm like, hey girl, what do you want to do? Let's work this out. We've got this.
I like that you call yourself hey girl.
Hey girl, hey.
I think people should start with the money persona quiz for that, which they can go to GarrettGunderson.com/quiz. No charge, but figure out which of the 4 money personas you are, because my wife is the planner on our winning persona and I'm the creator on my winning persona, which that makes a really good team if you know how to operate together.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you don't, one feels like the brakes, the other one feels like gas, and it feels like you're kind of stopping and starting and having a problem. So once my wife and I knew that, we've been able to really work well together. Like she'll think through things with all the detail, but I'll bring the idea a lot of times. And she'll see if it's really worth it or not. And then if she says, I'm like, great, I know you've researched it, let's go forward with it. So she really helps kind of keep us on track, and I help kind of create. And it works really nicely. But if you don't know what those money personas are and you have that conversation with your partner, you might not understand the perspective. And I feel like the universe kind of has this sixth sense of humor, which is like, you don't get to be attracted to your same money persona.
Oh no, there's a lot to look forward to.
You're not marrying your money persona. You're going to find someone with a different persona so you can learn to work together. And also there's some good strengths in that because, it's like you can't have a team that has 4 of the best quarterbacks in the world, but no offensive line. Sorry for my sports analogy. That's just what came to my mind at the time. Well, what's yours? Yours was, let's hear yours.
No, I'm not going to even go down this.
Sexual?
No. I was just I'm not good at sports references. It's just not my jam,
Okay.
So, so money persona quiz.
Yeah, I would
Take
start
that.
there.
We'll put the link in the show notes for you.
Kind of your winning persona and your shadow persona. And you can go back and look at like difficult financial times and, what did you learn from those? A lot of people don't fully think through those lessons.
Like, what are the learnings?
And if you don't, they may repeat, but be harder the next time.
Yeah.
And when have you been most in sync and what's worked for you? Like when I was my first year of marriage, I was such a miser on this money persona that my wife was like, I don't know if I made the right decision. I don't know. This is
like, how do I back out of this deal?
This is a little different than the guy I dated. Because then all of a sudden I'm like, well, hey, we have our place and we need to hold on to every dollar. And why are you spending so much money on heat? And we don't need to spend any money. And so that was detrimental. But when we look back, the reason I was that way is because I didn't know in a different way, and I was trying to do what was best for our family. But by understanding the scarcity nature that was coming from, we could start to make adjustments and say,
yeah. And I think there's like, once you kind of explore the things that were not working, the places where you were triggered, and you really reflect on those and try to take the learnings from it, it increases our compassion for the people in our lives, whether it's a spouse or someone else, and really trying to understand their perspective and how their upbringing influenced their relationship with money and vice versa, and creating your own path together. And I mean, if you are single, if you are not partnered, like, I think there are other people that you can talk to, you know, like I have a group of friends, and we just get together and we brainstorm and we support each other on that. We explore business ideas together.
You have friends?
I know, it's surprising. I mean, but I have one.
I know you have fans. I know you have subscribers that are fans, but
or a counselor, you know, counseling, a coach. There are people that you can talk to explore this, because I really do believe that getting to the core and the root of our relationship with money is essential to our progression in life. And that kind of leads me to my next point of exploring the concept of money as an energy, and how it is an impact on. It has an impact on our relationship. Like, I just think when emotions arise. Sorry, let me back up a minute. Like, when you hear the word money, like, what emotions arise in you? What word comes to mind? What circumstances from your childhood, make their way back into your memory? Do you feel stressed out? Do you feel open and free? Like, starting to pay attention to how money registers in your body and where it lives, and kind of even working through some of the memories that may have formulated bad habits or faulty thinking or small thinking and behaviors, to kind of open yourself up to a more expansive relationship with money. Do you have any thoughts on that, money as energy?
yeah, there's no doubt that it's a storage of energy and that we have energy around it. I had these,
it can be very charged.
I had some clients that were hosting an event. I said, hey, go get $100,000 out of the bank and then just put it in a case. And then when people show up, see how they react when they walk by it.
Yeah.
You know, and you can see some people are fascinated by it. Others are afraid of it, uncertain. So it's like,
I'd give it a hug.
would you go give it a hug and then slide some into your pocket or something?
No. I'd celebrate it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that when I look and examine my life, I've spent a lot of time thinking about money because it's been part of my profession. It's been at times part of my identity. There's been times where, in 2008 that I was struggling with it, and for the first time in 10 years, and like really impacted my confidence and how I viewed myself. And so it for me, it took a long time to just have a really high quality relationship where money isn't really on my mind or not governing so many of my actions. I mean, which allowed me to make shifts to do comedy or make shifts to do a one-man show, or, that's like, what is it that really engages me? I just think that when people are in survival, it's hard to make those kind of decisions.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's this, to go back to the energy part, like when I feel abundant, I feel very different in my body. I have a very different energy versus when I feel scarce or fearful around money. And so I think that even goes to, there are times when I'm like, yes, like I believe that good things are for me. And then there are other times when I'm like, I kind of question my deservingness around this. And when you start asking yourself those questions, I just want to, it was a shift for me to not just ask the questions, not just journal or dialogue about them, but really pay attention to how I feel in my body. And so that might seem a little bit kind of like woo-woo out there, but I think it's a really important thing to pay attention to. And it's not really something that we've had a conversation about on this show before, but everything is energy.
Even the thoughts that we've had about money from the time we were young.
Yeah.
Or what our family thinks about money. Or what we think about people with or without money.
Yep.
Like just examining and getting an idea of what those patterns are and understanding like where that comes from.
Yeah.
And did we actually mature once we had something happen where we were a kid and we're like, oh, well, if you have money, you're bad. If you have money, you're powerful. Or if you have money, you're valuable. Like there's these notions that kind of come from maybe how we watch people interact or, how people are. And I think that shapes a lot of how we behave a lot of times.
Yeah, most definitely. I would just encourage everybody to get curious and let their curiosities lead them to a place of compassion and transformation. It doesn't need to be judgment or, getting hard on yourself about where you wish you were or where you think you should be or where society thinks you should be, but you're not. Like, just kind of opening the door to curiosity and compassion.
Money is a great companion, but it's a terrible solo artist. It really, like, if it's like to be like, hey, money, make me happy, that's putting the weight of too much on money's shoulders that it's not built to bear.
Yeah.
So it's useful. It's a tool. It allows you to, utilize other people's gifts and talents and to take time off or to go places that you want or, have access to great resources. But at the same time, we can always be resourceful. And at the same time, until we really understand our relationship with money and heal the traumas that hold us back from feeling deserving of having it or feeling bad because we have it, then we're going to be conflicted all the time. And that's always going to be like a start-stop type of situation.
Yeah, and it's not really it's not really a healthy place to be with money if you're always thinking about it from a place of worry and fret and concern. It's also not healthy to always be thinking about it like, I got to get more, I got to earn more. I'm not enough until I have this amount of money in my bank account.
Maybe I'm getting old because I think more, like I worry more about like, oh, I hope I sleep well tonight. Like, I feel like it's ridiculous that like that's a conversation my wife and I have in the mornings. How'd you sleep last night? Like, well, you're old when you're asking how you slept. Like in my 20s, I'm like, I drank tequila all night and I slept an hour. It didn't matter. I mean,
oh man, that sounds miserable. Well, do you need me to confirm or deny that you're getting old and having a hard time sleeping? Or just like you are old since you can't sleep well.
Nights, but the night before I didn't sleep, and I'm like, why am I not sleeping?
I think that happens to everybody, don't you?
Yeah, it didn't happen when I was in my 20s.
Well, that's a good point, I guess. Okay. I have another one. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, we're good. Let's go.
Okay.
Next one.
So this is a simple thing. Is join a course, read a book, listen to a podcast that will contribute to your expansion.
Like this one?
Yeah, listen to our podcast here. We're awesome. No, there are many great ones out there. And I think for me, just from my education background, I think it's really important to learn about a topic or a space from both sides, from multiple angles. So if you want to learn about money, there's your books, Killing Sacred Cows, What Would the Rockefellers Do? There's The Soul of Money. There's Buy Then Build. There's a wide range of topics. And so just whatever you want to learn about, I want to encourage people to learn about it from multiple perspectives and then kind of synergize the information.
Books to skip around money, but yeah.
Go for it.
That's my reaction to videos.
Yeah, check those out for that information. But it's learning and taking ourselves from where we are to where we want to be does not have to be expensive. You don't have to buy a $3,000 or $5,000 course. There are ways to do it that are affordable and free. YouTube, everything is out there. There are people all over that are putting out fantastic content that will help you kind of expand your mind and get you on the path to where you want to go.
All right, what next?
Well, these are more like practical things.
Okay.
So I was just thinking one thing would be like organizing your financial house, getting your financial documents like organized. Are they in a shoebox?
I used to have a nice like cherry wood box.
Cherry wood? Wow, fancy.
So, and it had the green hanging file folders and it had my name on it. And I would always update it. Now I do print a couple things and put it in a folder and just throw it in a safe. But most everything I have is just organized digitally, which is easy to get to and access and everything that way. But being able to get to that information quickly is useful if you're ever going to get a mortgage. It's useful if you have a spouse and something happens to you. It's useful just for you to be able to reference quickly and not have that worry of like, I wonder if I have this or not.
Yeah.
If you can kind of go to that, just having the basic documentation accessible is very...
Yeah. Just all I'm saying is make a system so you feel organized and you can get access to the information that you need on your banking accounts.
And they'll keep, they'll keep all your information. I have like one folder on my phone that has like a few different apps in it. Between those apps, I can see anything in my finances.
Yeah. Yeah, there are simple ways to do that. And then a good one I thought would be to check your credit report and revisit it on a quarterly basis. Like start looking at
I'm
that.
like an annual basis. For me, for you, quarterly, it really is a personality thing. Like that, that makes sense. Like you're the
This
type
is something I'm going to try to do more this year.
I'm like once a year, I know that I'm over 760. So if you're over 760, you're pretty much good to go.
Yeah.
And I know this because I bought a new home last year, and we got a line of credit on this cabin just in case we ever want to tap into that cash. And so did a lot of lending last year. But I just have the Norton program. You know, I have LifeLock, and so it looks at like my credit, but also looks at like anything that would be unsafe as far as websites or apps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's $10 a month that I pay for. And then I also have CreditWise, and it'll just tell me if my credit changes. It'll give me a notification, or if there's an inquiry. So I just can kind of look and see what happens based upon it giving me notifications. But again, if you're over 760, you're kind of in the golden area. If you're above 800, you're just bragging.
Wow.
At this point,
I don't think I know anybody above 800.
My wife is. She likes to remind me of that.
Oh,
my mom.
Way to
She's
go.
over 800. I was, and then I'm like at 780 something now.
Pretty good, though.
I'm
pretty
happy
good
with that.
Yeah, part of my rationale behind kind of checking it on a quarterly basis, we have the three companies that we provide reports, like Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. And so I think there was someone on our team before, and it actually might be in an older video, we talked about like quarter one, get your report from Equifax. Quarter two, get yours from TransUnion. Quarter three, get it from Experian. And you can just stay on top of it and then have it be a rotational basis. So whether you do it quarterly, whether you do it annually, there's no set reason.
And if you want to
it's
improve
just
it,
preference.
we have videos on how to improve your credit.
Yeah. So check out one of those videos as well. We can link to it in the story. But I think I just want to remind people at any point you can make a decision that will help you be better with your finances. It doesn't have to be at the new year. It doesn't have to be when things go wrong, but just kind of keeping money as a part of the conversation in your life with people that are important to you, whether it's a spouse, and start looking at like, how can I be in a better relationship with money and not have such a tension-filled or toxic-filled relationship with it. So that was just my intent behind the conversation today. Do you have any other thoughts you want to add?
No, good job, Stella.
Okay.
Want to master your money? Want to figure out the things that you could do to improve your finances? Click here and check out more videos like this on Money Matters.